stream just to ourselves.
Right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm Matt, and today is our Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoiler discussion for episode 1. I'm going to introduce everybody that's going to be on today's panel. First off, right next to me on the bottom little thingy we have right here is Aaron. Aaron, how you doing today?
Good, good. Happy to be here. Excited to be doing this. Whether it's Marvel, Star Wars, High School Musical, we have a lot of exciting content coming from
High
Disney
School
Plus in the near
Musical.
future.
What?
That's just to fuck with you guys. We have a lot of exciting content coming, so I'm excited to be here weekly to talk about it, review it, kind of go through it. Um, it only took over an hour of After Dark when WandaVision happened, so it made sense to make it its own thing. You're distracting me. What are you rapping in the background, Matt? What are you doing?
What are you talking about? I'm playing the song. All in this together.
Oh, are you?
I can't even hear that. It's not coming through, bro.
It's in his headphones, probably. I'm happy to be here. Nikki, how are you doing?
I I thought we were here to talk about Justice League, so I'm really confused. But yeah, no, it's great being here to talk like Marvel things. I like seeing more of this universe. We had that year-long drought without any Marvel, so now we're all like we're ready for it by now. Like this Falcon Winter Soldier thing, I remember they did the advertisement for it for the Super Bowl last year. So as soon as like this came on, it was almost like an afterthought for me this week, just because that 4 hour menacing Justice League. It was a task to watch, and I loved it. But the Falcon and Winter Soldier is what we're here to talk about now, and I gotta say, I love this too. It's a bit slow, like start off. We got our feet wet a little bit in this one, but I'm excited for this and excited to talk about it with you guys.
Absolutely. All right. So, yeah, we'll keep the cameras like that. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So, we're going to get into obviously the first episode of the show.
Yeah.
Unlike WandaVision, we're actually going to be doing every single episode as they all come out. I do want to mention, though, before we start, in the description, and I would have had this as something we would have, promoted and whatnot a lot earlier. We did it for Justice League yesterday with our watch along. But first off, give this video a like so we got more people in here so we can all talk about the show. And also, in the comments, we have a donation link to the Asian Americans Advancing Justice in Atlanta. We're going to try to raise at least $250 over the next few weeks. So if you guys want to, if you guys have anything that you can give, please do that there. It's going to a great cause. So I'm going to keep that going. That way, anybody who hops in later, they'll see it and be like, oh, maybe I should do that. So we're going to go into the episode real quick. I want to get everybody's thoughts on the episode. I'm going to start with Nicky since he's right under me. Nicky, what was your thoughts on the episode overall?
What a position.
I'm on the bottom as always, guys. I mean, make whatever jokes or puns that you want. I really love this episode. I like just that cold open that you have kind of with Falcon. He's like has the shield just on his bed. I thought that was just such a cool thing. Like he doesn't have a place to hang this up. He just throws it on his bed because like he doesn't have anybody else in his bed and he doesn't sleep that much. That wingsuit thing at the beginning with Falcon, like that's such a cool, good opening to start off with, opening action sequence. One thing that really stood out to me right away, right when I heard it, was the Henry Jackman score that they took from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You got the Winter Soldier theme back. You got that Falcon theme back. I always thought the Silvestri theme for like Cap was better, but like the subsequent stuff that Jackman added in those two movies were also great. Spoiler alert, complete spoilers. Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
I'm a big War Machine fan here, so anytime like we see Don Cheadle as Rhodey War Machine, I like seeing it. I like that they went back to the Smithsonian. Bucky and Falcon not together yet. Like it's very much like another Marvel show that was on a different streaming service, Netflix, where it takes a couple episodes before the two characters, before like the group of characters in the show come together as like a unit. And I'm curious to see if we're going to see
the Defenders. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm curious to see though if we're going to see Captain America. Yeah, Falcon and Bucky team up in the next episode, or if it's going to take more time for their paths to cross.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to go to Aaron real quick. What were your thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, just kind of overall introductory thoughts. I really, really like this episode in terms of, because to me, pilots are all about establishing the series, whatever it may be. We saw with WandaVisions, that was about establishing the tone, establishing the type of show that it was going to be, and engrossing you in the weirdness as much as humanly possible. Whereas this show it's directly to the point. It's only 6 episodes, so it is shorter than WandaVision, but it's direct to the point. We are establishing the antagonists and the flag smashers. We're establishing the emotional positions that our characters stand in. We're establishing big plot characters like John Walker, the new Captain America. We get the glimpse of him at the end. I forget the character's name, but the Hispanic gentleman that's aiding Wilson, that he also got a lead billing credit at the end, so he's clearly a character that'll play into another portion of the series in terms of aiding probably him and Bucky.
Yeah, I'll pull his name up, but he actually becomes Falcon in the comics when Sam becomes Captain America.
Oh, does he? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Is he from the comics? I didn't know that.
Yes,
Okay.
he is.
So, yeah.
I gotta look up the name because I forget his name. You keep talking, I'll find it.
Yeah, but I really like that introduction of that character. And actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I said this to my brother before we went live. But I said one of the things I like is, especially in the scene where they're at, I think whatever, a bar or a cafe or wherever they're sitting at.
Danny Ramirez.
Danny Ramirez, thank you.
Okay.
That's the character, name. Not the actor, right?
Yeah, that's the actor, not the character.
That's the actor, Danny Ramirez? Okay. I don't recognize him from anything, but I thought he did a great job, especially because he's like the unknown quantity in this episode.
He's going to be in Top Gun Maverick, which was supposed to come out last year.
Oh, is he? Okay, good for him. Good for him. Yeah, I thought he was really solid, and I said to my brother, I said, their kind of friendship relationship in this episode almost reminds me of Cap and Falcon in Captain America the Winter Soldier, in that like you have the person that's leading the mission, and then this guy sort of, obviously it's shorter than that, so it's not explored quite as much yet, but he's the person
Joaquin
that's
Torres.
willing to ride and go into battle, and then we see, he offers to help Wilson investigate because he has the connections and knows what's going on, and just as, and I guess I'm going a little deeper than initial reactions, but just one of the things that stood out to me is I liked that they did a sequence in which it was an action sequence. He got his ass kicked, to be fair, but I liked that
hard head.
I like that they took a civilian character with no hero history, or at the moment no hero powers, no hero indication, and showed that no, there are civilians and people that are willing to do this job too. And he walked into a situation he was in over his head about completely, but was willing to do it because he knew getting the info could help Wilson. And I like seeing that because it shows that in a universe of heroes, you can still have important characters that don't have to don a suit.
Yeah, and the heroes inspire people too. Like he wore those bruises with pride. Like he was hurting, but he was like, "Hey, look at me, man! Look at me! I got a bunch of bruises. I'm like you. I'm getting my ass kicked." I don't know how he survived. Like when that foot came down on his head, I thought that guy was dead for sure. Because like this metahuman just crushes this guy's head on cobblestone. No, he's alive. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe he is enhanced.
I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. But
well, the guy who kicked him wasn't metahuman. He's just a guy.
He's just a dude.
I thought he was a meta. He seemed like a meta.
No, he's a dude.
They never said that.
No, they didn't say it. What they did say, he got cut off. He got cut off because Joaquin actually said that. Do you think he's? And then Falcon said, "No, I gotta just." And I think he was gonna say enhanced. Because I think he was enhanced, but we shall see. We shall see.
We'll find
out.
We got 5 more episodes, but for me,
5 more.
I like the episode a lot. I like that they really set the tone of this is going to be a Winter Soldier feeling, as far as what the show is.
That's the title.
The action I thought was great. And I'll tell you what, there were moments in this episode that if you would have added a little bit of blood, this would have been R-rated quality. There was some pretty brutal, just violence and whatnot in the movie. Like, it would have been TVMA, which, I mean,
and
you
can get away with a lot more on TV as far as blood goes, too. I think that's more like a Disney Plus thing.
Yeah,
because
like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had a lot of blood on it. Like, that show got really violent at the end. That was TV 14. Right. Language is what you get the MA rating for with TV. Right. It's kind of skewed. It's weird.
Right, but I
Yeah.
I like the action. Clearly, this is the best like Falcon action that we get to see. I thought
Mhm.
everything with him was great action wise. Um, obviously we're gonna see him and Bucky together, but I thought it was a interesting but a good decision to not have them together just right away.
Mhm.
Because we get to learn more about them, and whatnot. Um, can't remember his name, and to be fair, I looked him up on Google literally 5-10 minutes ago before we started the stream. But the guy that's in the Winter Soldier, it's nice seeing him
Batroc the
back.
Leaper, George
Yes.
Batroc.
St.
Yes. See, I was looking it up so I can be like, oh, look at me. I know all these characters' names. See, I'm not stupid. But then I completely forgot it. So it
Yeah.
defeats the purpose immediately. But no,
Yeah,
it's
Batroc.
kind of cool to see him back in it again. I like his character in the, Winter Soldier and whatnot.
Hey,
And
did some flips.
yeah. And then there's some like surprise cameos, which we can get into in a minute. And I'll be honest, just based on the last TV spot I did a reaction to yesterday, there's like a little quick shot where they're all surrounded by like this box and it looks like it's covering something. I thought maybe this was going to be an episode where we would see maybe Steve Rogers' funeral, but clearly not. So
Yeah, if you
well-
zoom in on some text, like it seems that they're keeping it very mysterious
Right.
for the general public.
So I do, before we get into that and kind of what we expect for the future of the show and whatnot over these next 5 episodes, what were some things that really stood out to you guys that maybe one of us hasn't mentioned yet?
Well, I was going to say, just from doing research and stuff from After Dark, I wanted to build on something you mentioned that I know, because you were talking about the action.
Yeah.
One of the moves that this series made, because the person who's show running it, obviously the director, Kari Skoglund is her name. She's worked with action before. She's directed episodes of The Walking Dead. She directed an episode of the Punisher series. Like, she's worked with an action before.
Right.
But
That's encouraging.
The guy who wrote the series, Malcolm Spellman, who was credited as the lead writer for this episode, he, as far as I'm aware, has never actually led a television series in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
The first person he brought on to his writing team as both a writer and a producer for the show is a guy named Derek Kolstad. Kolstad's biggest input into the film world is he is the executive producer and lead writer of the John Wick series.
Yeah, that's
okay.
okay.
And that
I thought that was where you were going with that.
Yeah, and that to me, and there's a connection there because a lot of people don't realize the gentleman that directed that film, Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, were the stunt coordinators for Winter Soldier and Civil War. So there's a history of that connection there with that Winter Soldier vibe of the John Wick style influence being on that film. Obviously not to the crazy extent John Wick goes. Bucky's not tapping ass on a horse and killing people with it. But
we
it's
did
that
get some good
grittiness.
assassination action though.
Yeah, it's that grittiness, that closeness with the action. The scenes of like the camera up on here on Falcon as he's flying and trying to get the jetpack back under his control, and that's the stuff I really like. And I think that John Wick influence is going to be huge on this series as it was with Winter Soldier, and that excites
especially with Bucky.
Oh yeah. When we see him
Because
get
he's
going,
mentioned that before, like he's done a lot of like hand practicing to get like his knife game better, and that was something that they even cut out a little bit out of Infinity War that he was really excited about. But we even see it in the trailer that he gets to do a lot more knife game in this series. I love the storyline with him and the old man where he killed his son as the Winter Soldier, because that like when that scene happens, they don't like establish it as a flashback. It just cuts and he like beats through a wall with his arm, and then you see the star on his arm, and you know that okay, at that point this must be a memory.
Right.
And I like the whole thing with the therapy where he didn't lie to her. She kept saying, no, you said you didn't have nightmares. It's not a nightmare. That was a memory. There's a difference between a memory and a nightmare. It was a nightmarish memory, like his life is a nightmare. But I just like that they're continuing on with that fact of Captain America Civil War and Avengers Endgame a little bit, where he remembers everything that happened to him. He remembers everything that he did to people. Tony asked him, like, do you even remember them? And he says, I remember all of them. So like those names that he has on the list, he's not just trying to make amends with the families of the people that he killed, but he's trying to put people that rose up to power, like that Hydra lady, that Hydra senator. He tried to put her back in her place, like by spying on him. He's really he's working for himself as much as anything. Where I do too. Where Sam mentions that he has like military contracts. Because I was wondering, like, who is Sam working for? Probably Thunderbolt Ross. Like in a way, like that was the biggest that I took away from those therapy sessions, where she said that we need to keep tabs on you. The government needs to know that you're okay. Conditional pardon. They did mention the pardons, which was a big question after Endgame. But that just screamed to me, okay. Thunderbolt Ross is trying to keep an eye on these people, because I really do think that Thunderbolt Ross, you even see in the credits, some of the memos are being sent to him. Mm-hmm. And if like you zoom and enhance type thing, they're going to like Thaddeus Ross. And so I think he is behind maybe the Flag Smashers. He wants all the superpowers for himself. Like they said in Spider-Man Far From Home, there's a vacuum and someone will assume power.
Right. Yeah. So, alrighty.
Potentially. Yeah. No, it's not a bad call.
So, and I don't know if this was mentioned yet, but I do think it's pretty cool that we got Don Cheadle in it just like that. Yeah. Because, like you were saying, we already knew he was going to be in the show. Because he confirmed that he was going to be in the show, mm-hmm. but to see him already in there and to be kind of that connective tissue mm-hmm. with, the MCU. I mean, granted, these characters in MCU, but there's like a connective tissue mm-hmm. with the MCU and the TV shows, because you get somebody who's been like a character that's been there from the beginning. I was going to say somebody, but Terrence Howard isn't in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. Maybe he is. Maybe he's in the background. Yeah, no, he's running everything. Yeah, but no, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah,
no, I like that you said that though, because with Don Cheadle, like it does make the universe not smaller per se, mm-hmm. but it makes it feel more connected. Like that was my biggest problem with WandaVision, was that it's 3 weeks after the blip, so you could say people are still trying to get their bearings. But what bothered me about that was like, okay, where's Clint? Where's Rhodey? Where's Sam? Where's Bucky? Mm-hmm. Why weren't these people like keeping an eye on her, keeping tabs on her, knowing that she just lost vision? Like, where were her friends? Was she shutting herself off from them? Right. Maybe that's what it was. But I'd like to see that, like, not only was Rhodey there, but him and Sam were on good terms, because like that's his wingman. They flew so many missions together that we didn't see between the movies.
Yeah, and I think I think, to answer your question about WandaVision, I think it is a case of like everyone had to grab their bearings. Like I get like, and really what the answer is not everyone can be in everything. Mm-hmm.
But Clint especially, I feel like Clint should have showed up.
But like with Clint also,
his family
is now 3 weeks removed from having lost his murderer. Because it's not just exactly. It's not just he lost his family.
He's probably on the run.
5 years being a murderous rampager, like
and awesome.
And I think we'll see this in the Hawkeye show. Part of it is the assimilation back to civilian life and dealing with that. Because
good choice of words.
That's intense, right? Like to go from I'm in Japan slicing throats just to get anger out and just literally ripping the cartel by my hand.
Awesome.
To my family's back. I have kids. I have a wife. I have to learn how to almost love.
I gotta get rid of this ridiculous haircut.
I love that haircut. I don't fucking care. I
do too. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, I certainly think that plays a part into it. But yeah, I do like that here. And exactly, you're right. Like I remember even back in the day, I believe it was with Age of Ultron. A filming issue came up, so he wasn't able to make it, I believe is what it was. But Wilson was supposed to also be in the finale of the film.
He was supposed to be in
Sokovia too. Yeah. But it was something with Mackie. He wasn't available to make it to film.
My headcanon has always been he was there, they just didn't show him. Because it even feels up like all the people at the party at the beginning are there at the end. Yeah. So like that was always what my headcanon was, that he was there, that just for some reason couldn't shoot him.
I thought they showed him flying around, like when Nick Fury came in.
It's just one.
Yeah, they showed Rhodey. Like Maria Hill was like, "You're up."
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe
No,
I'm
so
wrong.
Maybe you
if
did. I hope you did.
If I remember correctly, it's when they were filming production of the film. Not Mackie was unavailable,
Yeah.
and it was when they did the scheduled reshoots.
Yeah.
He had a chance to come in, and so that's why at the party he has the one solidified scene with Steve, and then he's not even in the hangout session afterwards. And they use like a story beat where they're like, "Oh, I'm looking for Bucky," and they like write him out of it. But he was supposed to be in more of that film, the same way how Rhodey got a stepped up role in that film too.
That's why with Rhodey, what I like about Rhodey, I always say like Wanda's the strongest Avenger. Rhodey's the longest Avenger at this point. He's been there.
He should have been in the first Avengers. I still contend. I don't get why he wasn't there.
No, I don't either.
Especially because the government tries to intervene with like the nukes and stuff. Like Rhodey should have been there.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with Rhodey is that I think he was working for the government until the end of Age of Ultron, and at the end of Age of Ultron, he started working for Tony. But I like that. It kind of seemed to me like seeing him here, like he has more authority now with the Avengers. Like he said, okay, I'll keep you posted. Like if something comes up, and I always thought that would be the case. And one of the things I have a problem with, like Spider-Man: Far From Home, like okay, Rhodey and Pepper would have had access to that tech too, but that's more that movie's fault, not this. I liked seeing Falcon in New Orleans with his sister with the boat. Like you could almost smell the crawfish, you know what I mean? Like, wait, New Orleans cooking. He reminded me of like Captain Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, who also was a chef from New Orleans. But I liked seeing that side of him because one of the things I was thinking earlier today was that we don't really know Falcon. We know that he's a great friend to Steve, but that's all we pretty much know about him was that he would do anything for Steve Rogers. Other than that, we don't know much. Whereas Bucky, we've gotten a lot of character growth from Bucky. He even mentions that part of Wakanda. He really liked it in Wakanda. I kind of hope he goes back there.
Maybe he does in the sequel. But
he's the Black Panther in the next film.
He is the new Black Panther.
The Black Panther, him and Martin Freeman together.
You're going to see the mask come off, and it's going to be Bucky.
That's what it's going to be called, Black Panthers, and it's going to be the two of them.
Right.
Honestly, I said this jokingly the other day to a friend, but I was like, you know what they'll probably do? Considering he's the only main, aside from Michael B. Jordan, he's the only main cast member from that first film not confirmed to come back. If Daniel Kaluuya wins an Oscar, they'll bring him back and make him the Black Panther.
Yeah. Me and my father keep saying that. We just think Michael B. Jordan should be Black Panther. Like they recast roles all the time. No. I know what you mean by Daniel Kaluuya, but I'd even make Jordan like just make him the Black Panther because he's got star power. You would. You'd really have to explain it.
You would have to explain what the Wakandan like armies not wanting to kill him for almost like causing a genocide.
Right. Here's your explanation: the heart-shaped herb takes him to the celestial plane, the soul world, all that stuff with the ancestral realm. That's what they call it. His body is now the vessel for T'Challa's soul because they both took the heart-shaped herb. Boom. Just like Don Cheadle. Boom. Looking for this? Here's your Black Panther 2.
I guess we'll find out. But I do want to get into where we think the show's going to go next.
Yeah, please.
That ending.
Because the ending, we see Captain America, the new Captain America, running, or not running, but we see him. But it's not Sam Wilson or Bucky.
He's got a gun.
It's just him.
Kurt Russell Seaman.
It's Kurt Russell's son. This is Seaman.
From Overlord, good movie.
Yes.
Yep, he was an Overlord.
Very good movie.
And 22 Jump Street.
That was it. The one I always go back to at Wyatt Russell is 22 Jump Street. That was the first time I saw him, and I was like, he's so great. And then I looked him up, like, that's Kurt Russell's kid? Fucking hell. That kid can act.
But once you hear that, he looks exactly like them. Like, he's like, he's absolutely their kid. Because it's the same thing with, like, why can't I think of his name?
Goldie.
It's like Jack Quaid. Like, as soon as, I didn't know Jack Quaid was Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son, but as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh my god, he looks exactly like both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Sleepless in Seattle. The poster just morphed into a man.
Right.
He's tall, but he has, like, Meg Ryan's
Sleepless
face.
in Seattle, that's Tom Hanks.
Yeah, say that's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan was...
Not.
They were in a movie together, right?
Probably.
Maybe. I mean, they might have just met at one of those Hollywood parties where everybody sleeps together. And it's like, hey, you're good. So are you.
Arrival,
let's just continue.
That's like when I got Max von Sydow confused with Christopher Plummer. Christopher Plummer was great in Minority Report.
Yeah.
So
That's
they were
completely
in
different guy.
3 films together. They were in
Oh.
Dead on Arrival, Flesh and Bone, and Inner Space.
Those
Okay.
movies all suck.
Fair enough.
But Falcon,
But that
Wyatt
caused
Russell.
Wyatt
he was
Russell.
good.
I am not a connoisseur of Meg Ryan's filmography,
No,
so
me neither.
you know.
But
I should, but she is a delight.
right, that's what I hear too. She seems nice.
I've seen Sleepless in Seattle, so that's good. But.
Yeah, so I saw that too. I believed it. Tom Hanks and her.
Do you think
were
Meg
a couple.
Ryan's gonna
I believe it.
pop up? Yeah.
Meg Ryan, yeah. Okay, so I guess that kind of leads into one of the things I was going to ask. Obviously, I want to know where you guys think the show's going to go.
Meg
But
Ryan going to show up in this show?
does Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid and Kurt Russell and all them show up? But
Ego the Living Planet.
Did Ego bang somebody else and this kid popped out? Because he looks.
Oh my god! I hope so. Imagine.
Him and Chris Pratt do not look like brothers. I'll tell you that.
No, but neither do. Wait, they're not. He's adopted. I was gonna say neither do Hemsworth and Loki.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But no. Speaking of all these guys, besides Steve Rogers, because that seems to be the one everybody will respond with.
Yes.
That's the Luke
Do you
Skywalker.
think? Because who do you think is going to play Mephisto? Who plays Mephisto? When do the X-Men show up?
Shows up again as a different
Patrick
You
character.
say that as a throwaway thing, but I do think this does connect to X-Men, but more likely Inhumans. I think it connects to, because I think the big threat is going to be a Terrigen-based weapon, which will go off and create more Inhumans, such as Miss Marvel, because they have to drag Inhumans over. And the best line of this episode, I think they're already like winking at the camera, because the guy was just talking about Ramirez. He makes a joke about Captain America being on a secret base on the moon, to which Falcon says something along the lines of, all that moon-based stuff is ridiculous. You don't have to worry about that. So I took that as throw away that Inhumans show. Don't think about the Inhumans on the moon, because we're going to bring you Inhumans the right way.
I think
and
you
Captain
are
Pike
grossly
isn't gonna be
overthinking this.
Maybe.
I don't think I am, because there's rumors about Quake on Secret Invasion too.
Here's the reason I say that. Before the first episode aired, and I understand creators can say what they want, but before the first episode aired, the guy who wrote and created the show, Malcolm Spellman, came out and said basically, in response to everything that happened with WandaVision, please do not assume that you know what is happening in this show. We are not going galactic. This is straightforward.
Right.
No, but that's just people being bitches. I can't deal with that part. I can manage my own expectations to where if this doesn't happen, I'm going to be completely fine. But I don't play into any of that like speculation game is bad. It's good. It's good for it. It's the lifeblood of this show. It's the Terrigen mist of the Inhumans.
Oh, fuck off. No, so I think this is very straightforward and grounded, but I like the approach they're taking of now obviously, we're still missing Daniel Bruhaha, he's not back yet, and
Emily Van Camp.
Well, Emily Van Camp's a hero, we know that. And
I like the way that they did the credits though, where like you can clearly see the spots for their names,
supposed to
but
be.
they were blanked out.
I like that.
Yeah. It was like redacted.
They were the only two missing, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Every other spot looked like it was filled.
It was regulars. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a thing for Thaddeus Ross, so maybe Thaddeus Ross showing up.
Maybe. Maybe him, Daniel Bruhaha, and Emily Van Camp.
Is that how you have to hear his
I don't
name?
know why. I've called him that for years, and I don't remember where it came from. I've just
Glorious Bastards, maybe?
No, is he in that?
Oh, yeah,
he was in that. Yeah,
he's
the guy that dates the director. Or the
he's the one that says ha 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 in the movie. So maybe that's how you got it.
He's like, it's the ha ha ha.
Yeah. But
Michael Fassbender got his balls shot off. Ha ha ha.
Bruhl. Daniel Bruhl. How do we say it in German?
Magneto's going to show up.
So Magneto.
It's like Falcon's going to throw the shield and Magneto's just going to stop it.
Patrick Stewart's going to show up, but he's not going to play Professor X. He's going to play Danny Boner. That's who he's going to play.
His father.
His father. But no. Do you? And this doesn't have to be strictly like MCU or Marvel characters in general, but do you guys think like there will be any like, oh,
No.
I didn't expect to see that person in?
It's interesting that you say that because Devin made a point earlier today that character Topaz in Thor Ragnarok is actually a character that is from a non-Marvel comic book. She's from a Marv Wolfman comic book that they somehow got the rights to use the character because Taika Waititi thought that the character fit the actress or something like that. So I always thought that was just like one of those things like name Topaz, like that's one of those words that you can't really trademark, like kind of like Mantis. Like there's a Mantis in the DC universe, there's a Thor in the DC universe. Like you can't really trademark things like that.
Norse mythology.
But it seemed like that was actually the character. After reading this thing, I'm like, no, there's no way that happened. Then Devin proved me wrong, as he so often does occasionally. I'm not usually wrong, guys. But I was wrong about Mephisto, and I will admit that.
Yeah, that's true. Mephisto, he will show up, probably never because of China.
No,
but
China. Yeah, it's a China thing.
I do think we could see kind of like a little fun, wink, at the camera type of appearance, where it's somebody who has been in a past Marvel movie, but they're not playing the character that they were in a future or in a past Marvel movie. So like maybe we get like, I don't know, I'll throw a wild one out because he always will do pretty much anything. Nicolas Cage, but he doesn't play Ghost Rider. He just, I don't know, maybe he works for a government or, maybe he's part of like CIA or something. I don't know.
I think Nick Cage is cheap enough for a Disney Plus show.
But Ghost Rider is very
swear words after all.
Because you mentioned like the Mephisto thing in China. Ghost Rider is one of those movies that I don't think they were ever allowed to release that in China because it has Ghost in the title. So that's probably where we're going to see a Mephisto type storyline. So if they ever do that Ghost Rider show with Gabriel Luna, yes, thank you. I love him. He's great on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Ghost Rider, and the powers that he gets on that show, it's incredible. Like his arc is incredible on that show. That season's the best season that they have, and it is a season that does contain the Darkhold, which is a book that morphs and changes shapes. So just because the Darkhold's a different shape in WandaVision doesn't mean that they've erased everything else, because at the end of that, Ghost Rider goes to hell.
Don't get ahead of me on After Dark tomorrow, man. Come on, don't get ahead of me.
Is there Ghost Rider stuff?
No. The Darkhold got referenced, and I pulled it as a new.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, you shouldn't have used the Darkhold. That's going on the soundboard. Every that season, the best part of that season is that every opening of that season previously on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it just opens up with a guy saying, "You shouldn't have used the Darkhold."
Right.
So that's as soon as I saw that on WandaVision, I'm like, yeah, that's the Darkhold. You shouldn't use that.
Right. And I can loop it all back together. I don't know who he plays, but I know that some dude from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was also in that Overlord film that had Wyatt Russell that was in this show. Boom.
So Devin pronounces it jokingly Ian DeCasterhater. He would say the name correctly if he was here, but he's too busy with his friends playing video games next door. Right. But now, it's like Ian DeCasterhater or something like that. And he's good in that. He turns into a zombie man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw out as far as a prediction real quick, and then
Ian DeCasterhater.
There you go.
This is somebody who I don't expect to show up.
He's in the quantum realm,
but could potentially show up in the show in some way, shape, or form. Maybe in like a jail cell or something like that. I don't know. And it would be the character Robert Redford played, because he said at one point that he was going to be retiring. However, that was before Endgame came out, and he returned for Endgame.
Yeah, but he died.
Robert Redford's alive, I'm pretty sure.
No. The character died. Not Robert Redford. Not President Robert Redford from the Watchmen universe.
Oh, well, he's back.
Alexander Pierce died. Yeah,
he's back. He's alive. He's alive again, and it's going to set something up. I don't know, maybe it sets up the multiverse.
He just shows up. He's like, I'm back, bitches. Loki took me with me in the time stone.
So, by the way, I do have to correct you. Not to be that douche, but only because I know it, because I've read it before.
Well, don't say it, because somebody will correct us in the comments, and that counts as interaction.
Redford actually filmed his cameo in Endgame in 2017 before he completed his last film.
Ooh! Yeah,
so he filmed that.
That was War and Endgame were one shoot.
Yeah, because and I think they knew that he was going to retire, so he filmed that before he officially retired.
Okay.
It just came out a couple years after Old Man and the Gun.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's.
But he was
not
also
gonna be
president
in the
in
Yeah,
the
show
he
then.
Washington
hasn't
TV show,
filmed
but we don't
anything
see him.
since 2017.
Okay.
Jeremy Irons said that Robert Redford is president.
Oh yeah, true. That is true.
He did.
I don't
He
believe
said
it. I'd like him as
Is
president. He
it-
seems
that
like
was
a
during the Snyder
well-spoken-
Cut. He was just, hey, by the way, Batman, Robert Redford's president.
He does say that in the Snyder Cut. So before we wrap up, because we are.
So I was
getting-
gonna say to address your thing quickly. I actually think I don't think again. I believe Spellman when he says it. I think this show will be very straightforward. I think they have a story. I think they've laid, with the exception obviously of Van Camp and Brule, who we know about. I think they've laid all their characters out.
Yeah.
Because we know, I forget the actress's name, but Enfys Nest. We know she's playing one of the
I love her.
Flagstaffers.
I'll
or
pull up her
whatever.
name. I have it pulled up right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It is Erin Kellyman. We saw her in this episode, but she did have a mask
she had the
covering
mask
her
on,
face.
but the hair.
And then
very
Falcon and his
clearly.
they pretended, or they didn't pretend, but they thought, they assumed that the big brooding metahuman that I thought it was guy was the leader. Where it's actually her. It's her, and she was great as Enfys Nest. She was one of the standout roles in that movie. She has such a unique look to her. Like I love like those mixed race actors that like you. It's like, oh, she's got like a background, and I want to know like her whole entire like family lineage. Because she just looks
Nicky wants
she
to sit
looks
down
incredible.
at ancestry.com to scroll.
Yeah.
Just
You instantly recognize her though. Like as soon as I saw her in the trailer, I'm like, oh my god, that's Enfys Nest. She was the best part of that movie that had Darth Maul in it.
No,
did
so
you
my
know
bad,
though? Did you actually know that's Halle Berry's niece?
I can see it.
Enfys Nest.
Is it
It
really?
was like biological
No, but it'd be really cool if it was though, right?
Oh wow, no, that would be.
But
I could see it.
I mean,
I
I don't know who Halle Berry's siblings are banging. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Me.
No, so
The answer is
sorry,
me.
I was gonna say sorry, both to cut off your wrap up, but to answer the thing, I think the show's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's any huge outside of things that involve the story. I don't think there will be any huge mind-bending twist. I don't think there will be any huge mind-bending character. The only character I think has a solid chance of appearing
Red Wing
that hasn't been in Red Wing that hasn't been confirmed. Again, I would agree with Nicky. I don't know if he's in it just because again they seem to have confirmed everything for this, so I don't know if they'd keep it a secret. But I could see William Hurt showing up in this. I could. It would make sense. But that's it. I think that's the biggest it'll get. I don't think there's some I don't think like I don't know, Michael Fassbender isn't showing up as like
he's gonna catch the shield.
Roger Action or something like that.
Yeah.
What you said about William Hurt though, I think the biggest thing with William Hurt, if William Hurt does not show up, I can tell you why. It's because Black Widow hasn't been released yet. Because I'm telling you right now, there's something that is going to be revealed about William Hurt in the Black Widow movie. Because we know he's in that.
Well, the show was always supposed to be released before Black Widow.
No, Black Widow was supposed to be released first. Because Black Widow was ready to be released in May of last year, and then Falcon Winter Soldier was going to be released. So I think what they may have done is take scenes that may have had Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in it that pertain to Falcon and Winter Soldier, that pertain to his mission with the Thunderbolts, if we're getting that going forward, and add it as an end credit scene onto Black Widow, because obviously they can't spoil Black Widow in this show. Right. Now, the Florence Pugh, we heard she was returning for, was it this or Hawkeye?
Hawkeye.
Okay, yeah. So that's the only one, like, I don't think we're going to see her in this, but that also maybe a condition that maybe why that we're seeing her in Hawkeye, that maybe she was supposed to appear in this, and is it appearing in Hawkeye now? Because plans change. Honestly, they've done a pretty good job at managing the timeline, because this could have thrown a wrench in everything, the delaying the TV shows, but whatever they had to edit out or edit in, clearly they've done it because they're releasing these shows still.
And this is my belief, and I'm sorry, after this we can wrap up because I know we have a time limit here, but I think it helps, and this is the only reason why I refute like your crossovers, because I think they make sense.
How dare you?
I think the reason this has been able to go so smoothly is because I don't think any of these projects are connected. Like Far From Home is 8 months
Mhm.
after Endgame, no
Yeah.
connections. WandaVision is 3 weeks, no connection. This is 6 months, no connection.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and Eternals are
Completely
origin
disconnected.
stories,
Michelle Yeoh's
no
the Mandarin.
connection. What else? We have Black Widow, which is a prequel set before all
Yeah.
of this, no connection.
Miss Marvel coming out. What I want to ask you though,
Yeah.
you say like the disconnected thing. Do you think? And this is personally what I think.
Okay.
I think the characters are going to be put back into their starting positions. So like Endgame ends, that's your starting position is Endgame. So Wanda doing everything she did on WandaVision, she's kind of back in her starting position. Like she's grieving over Vision, but she's like moved on. And how Falcon Winter Soldier goes, like he doesn't have the shield. He gives up the shield at the beginning of it, but then by the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, he will
He'll accept the
absolutely
mantle.
have that shield. Yeah.
He'll accept
So
the
that
mantle,
if you
probably.
don't see these TV shows, if you're not subscribed to Disney Plus, you can go into those movies without missing something and just be like, okay, well at the end of the last Endgame, you gave him the shield.
Potentially. And
Yeah.
I think that is something that people have to remember because and it was a good point that I forget who I saw initially made it, but
It was me.
like people have to remember not everyone's going to have Disney Plus. Disney Plus isn't necessarily available in all regions yet. Not everyone has access to all these shows.
But it is cheap.
They do have to make them in such a way that like you're not lost in a movie, and they've even said as much. This came out earlier today, actually. Not big enough that I included it in the After Dark news lineup. That's why I'm saying it here. But the creator of WandaVision confirmed that the scene that they showed as a post-credit scene of her with the Darkhold is actually a scene from Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, that's a Sam Raimi directed scene, and I can tell that. I could tell that like when I first saw that because they're playing the Doctor Strange score in it, and it was directed that like pan in that they did that was directed unlike anything else that they had shot in that show, and it was a very Sam Raimi type scene.
Right. All right.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up.
So we are in a time restraint tonight. So thank you everybody who has tuned in, whether it's live or later on. If you're new, hit the like button first off. That'd be cool. That'd be really nice of you. If you don't like it, dislike it too, because it's interaction.
Still counts as interaction.
We strive. Also subscribe and hit the bell when you subscribe. Then you'll know when I go live and when they go live. Whoever's on at the time. Too? That counts as interaction. It's all interactions, ladies and gentlemen. It's all interaction.
Create new accounts to ring the bell if you don't want to get alerted. Like create 3 accounts and subscribe to us on all 3. Do whatever you have to do. We want to take this thing off.
Absolutely. So we have. I'm going to run through these really quick. This Sunday we have our Justice League spoiler review. We have Supernova also on Sunday. Mondays is Schmo Talks. Tuesdays is our political show, Cancel the Show. Fridays, which is today, is Falcon. You're more than welcome to come on. And then Saturdays After Dark. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. I've been Matt. That's been Aaron. That's been Nicky. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.